Welcome to Sunday Springboard with Melanie and Kimberlyn Coaching, where we help women find their strength and flourish after major life transitions. So I had a bird in my fireplace yesterday. I'm freaking out. I hear this little noise and I'm wondering what it is, and finally I eventually make it to the fireplace and there's this little bird in my fireplace. I am freaking out. I do not know what to do. I Google it. They give you these ideas of how to get the bird out of the fireplace, and they say it's better to have some people to help you. So I go and I get a neighbor to come help me. He comes with his wife and his kids and a net. So they come, they go, and he's working on the fireplace, and I'm talking to the wife, and I'm so sorry to bother y'all, and she says, oh no, the kids love this. They love getting the birds out and all this. Well, so as we're doing this, I'm noticing how all three of us are responding in a different way to the same situation. The situation is there was a bird in the fireplace. We need to get it out of the fireplace and let it outside of the house. I am freaking out. The man is calm and the kids are all excited. We're all having different emotions at the same time. Now, they did not actually get the bird out at that time, and I will tell you the rest of the story later on as we go through today's talk. So we're talking about emotions, the emotional influencer, and this is a biggie, right? We're emotional beings. God made us this way. We have emotions. Emotions are not good or bad. They just are. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed with emotions and we judge them as good or bad, and we have emotions we like to feel and emotions we don't like to feel. And when we have the emotions that we consider not good emotions, we generally just want to get rid of them. So it's normal for us to feel overwhelmed when we have these emotions, but sometimes we can get stuck in them because when we're not wanting to feel them, the things that we do to try to keep from feeling them make us feel them longer. So we're going to have 2, maybe 3 sessions about emotions because it is so important and it does hit us in so many places. So most of us don't understand our emotions. We react to and we live at the effect of our emotions. We don't just have our emotions, but our emotions many times control us. And so we forget what we're even trying to do because we're so overwhelmed with our emotions. We try to avoid what feels bad instead of listening to our emotions and trying to figure out what they're trying to tell us. When we have unwanted changes and transitions in our life, it's normal that we would have a feeling of grief and of loss because we're kind of wanting to go back to the way it used to be. And even if we are choosing to make the change, sometimes we're feeling like, what am I doing here? And why is this happening? And it's not comfortable. And so a lot of times those undesirable emotions take over. So remember that though we have emotions, they don't have to have us. Emotions can be used, they can be used as tools to help us understand what's going on for us in any particular situation. So like I said, we're going to have 2, maybe 3 lessons on emotions. We're going to talk about becoming aware of our emotions, understanding our emotions. We're going to talk about how to express our emotions, how to control our emotions to a certain degree. We're going to talk about pushing buttons. And then we're going to talk about how to create those positive emotions that help us move forward and living the life we want to. Today, we're just going to talk about becoming aware of and understanding our emotions. So one thing we want to always remember is that our thoughts create our feelings create our actions, and then our actions produce the results. So if we don't like the results that we are having, we can back it up to the actions, to the feelings, to the thoughts. So by learning to become smarter emotionally, you literally become emotionally intelligent. And if you're interested, there's a lot of research on emotional intelligence and how it affects all areas of life: work, home, your professional life, all kind of things. So for right now, we're just going to think about how do our emotions affect us? How do they affect what we're trying to do at work, at home, when we're going through changes, when we're going through transitions, when things aren't going the way we want to? How much are our emotions stopping us from doing and living how we want to live and have joy and like I said, it's normal to feel what we consider undesirable emotions, but how long we stay there, we have some degree of effect over that. We have some power and some control if we learn how to do that. So this, the research about emotional intelligence shows us that high levels of awareness of our own emotions and other people's emotions around us can help us have better levels of personal satisfaction. It increases our relationships at home and at work, and we just get generally better performance in all areas of life. Life just goes better for us if we have some emotional intelligence. So creating emotional awareness can be simple as just checking in with yourself. So ask yourself, what am I feeling? What am I feeling physically? What emotion am I experiencing? Now, here's a note. Don't ask yourself how I'm feeling. Think about when someone asks you, how are you feeling? We generally say, fine, or good, bad. And we judge how we're feeling. If you ask yourself, what am I feeling? You'll be more likely to be able to come up with an emotion that you're feeling, or several emotions that you're feeling. So let's look at my bird story. We've got the same situation for all three of us. I'm checking in on myself. What am I feeling physically? Well, actually, this morning I had to deal with the bird myself. Okay, I'll tell you some more about that. So I'm afraid. My heart is racing. I'm breathing hard. If it had taken very long, I probably would have gotten sweaty. All these physical reactions to this bird. What emotion am I experiencing? Well, I was experiencing fear. I was afraid that this bird's going to get the best of me. My thoughts were, I can't handle this bird. This bird is going to beat me. This bird is going to die in my fireplace. This bird is going to fly all over my house. I'm not going to be able to get this bird out, and I can't handle this. Now, back up to yesterday when my neighbor came over, I was still feeling all those same feelings. My neighbor was thinking, this is no big deal. I've taken care of birds before. I can handle this. He wasn't worried. He wasn't afraid. He was calm because he was thinking he could handle it. The kids, they're all excited. They're thinking, woohoo, we love this. We can't wait to see this bird flying around everywhere. We all had different thoughts and we all had different emotions in the same situation. So to figure out what you're feeling at any time, check in with yourself, figure out what am I feeling physically, what am I feeling, what emotions am I feeling, and then what thoughts am I having that is creating this emotional response that I'm having. It's important to check your physical response. When you come up with an emotion that you're feeling, where do you feel that in your body? You have different things, like maybe when you're sad, your throat gets tight. Maybe when you get scared, you get jittery. Maybe when you're anxious, you feel the nerves on the outsides of your arms. There's different ways that we feel it. Maybe you feel it in your stomach, in your gut. Having those, figuring out how they feel in our body helps us become aware of what we're feeling. Now, one of the things we have to check is we could have the same physical feeling when the emotions are different. So let's say you're getting ready to go start a new job, you're going on a date, you're looking forward to it, you can't wait, and you feel kind of jittery. Well, you're feeling jittery because you're excited. Well, let's say you're going to something and you feel like you're going to be judged and watched, you're feeling jittery, but you're feeling it because of fear. So you're feeling the same physical feeling, but the emotions behind it are different. So it's just one more thing to just be aware of as we're trying to become aware of our emotions. So one thing you can do is you can start keeping an emotional journal. Every day, check in several times a day. What am I feeling? What emotion am I feeling? As you look through that, then you can start to say, what emotion am I feeling most of the time? What patterns are you experiencing in your life? So now once we start becoming aware of what we're feeling, we want to start learning to understand our emotions. One of the things that we need to understand is that everything we experience has a purpose. The purpose of physical pain is to create an awareness to get you to change something, to move, to protect yourself, to keep yourself alive. And the purpose of emotional pain is the same thing. emotions are neither good or bad. They're just signals for us to notice and act upon. So if we're experiencing emotional pain, it may be telling us to get out of whatever situation we're in, or it might tell us to change it, to change ourselves, to change something, to learn something about ourselves. If you listen to your emotions, they will help you fine-tune your actions so that you can live in power and truth. Now, as we mentioned earlier, it's also very helpful to understand other people's emotions also. By doing so, you tend to judge other people less, and you become less affected by them. That way, you can focus more of your attention on your own self and your own emotional health. So you can listen to and you can understand your emotions by asking yourself some questions like, what can I learn from this emotion? What information is this giving me? What is the purpose of my emotion? Now you can look at your emotional flags to see how these emotions are meant to get your attention. Now, flags is a acronym we're going to use to help us remember what the core emotions are. So FLAGS. So fear, love, anger, guilt, and sadness. Okay, so fear is actually born out of self-protection. You fear losing what you value, and this could manifest as jealousy. Fear keeps you alive by protecting you from actual danger, and it's also a response to perceived danger. So sometimes your brain is perceiving danger and is making you feel fear, but once you can be aware of what you're feeling, and when you look at what's behind it, you can realize that your brain is perceiving a threat when it's not really there. So you're feeling fear when there's not really anything to fear. As you learn to work through this, you can let go of the fear when it's not appropriate. Love, so FL, love is life's most powerful emotion. Though some people may sometimes be reluctant to talk about it, love's kind of woo-woo and kind of, I don't know, people have different ideas of what love is, but love is the ultimate. Love is everyone's deepest driving force. Everyone wants to love and be loved, whether they admit it or not. And there are actually no opposites to love. The other emotions exist to allow you to recognize what love is by comparison. Think of all the emotions that we feel because of love. Love is love. You know, we know love is God and God is love, and so love is the ultimate one. But we can have all kind of emotions to go along with that love. Anger, our third one, FLA. Anger is born out of a belief that there is a threat to yourself or someone or something that you love, or maybe it's already happened. You're angry that this did happen, and so when you find out what the anger is, then you decide, how real is this? How long do I want to live with this? You can live with it as long as you want to, but you may get to a point that you're like, I'm ready to let go of this anger. Guilt helps you decide who you are. When you say or do something that goes against who you are, who you believe you are, your values, your goals, it makes you feel guilty, and the guilt makes you want to change. And if you have changed already and you're not living against your ideals and values, but you're still feeling the guilt, it may be time to do some work and be able to let go of that guilt. So FLAGS, the S is sadness and grief. This occurs when you lose someone. This is normal. So you can lose them by a person. You can lose a person by death or by circumstances. You can lose a dream or a hope. Sometimes losing the dream or the hope is harder and sadder to lose than the person, especially in areas like abusive relationships, or alcoholism. Sometimes you're grieving this dream or the hope more than you're grieving the person. But whatever it is that you're grieving is a normal feeling, but what it can do is it can remind you to appreciate the gifts of life. So the things that we have that are good, enjoy them now. Be present in the moment now, because you won't always have them forever. So sadness, the sadness and grief can also show up as disappointment in myself, in others, in the situation. So these are just some of the ways we're looking at emotions today. We're going to have, like I said, either one more or two more sessions. And so you want to hear the rest of the story about the bird? So yesterday they could not get the bird out. And they waited and waited, and finally we gave up. They left me the net. And meanwhile, I had propped my back door open and it got stuck. Couldn't get the little closer thing to open it, so I had to have the guy come back over. He took it off. We assume it's broken, no way to fix it. I'm gonna have to buy a new one. I'm telling you this because I'm gonna be proud of myself in a minute. So this morning, finally, the bird makes itself known again. So I'm like, okay, I can do this. I get my net, I get ready to open the door of the fireplace, and boom, and the bird is flying all over my house. My dogs are running around. I'm running around with the net trying to catch this bird. They'll try not to scare it too much. It flies here, flies there, flies into the bathroom. So, okay. So this is a little thing. I shut the door and there was a window to the outside, but of course it has a screen on it. So I open the window, I shut the door, I go outside, I pull the screen off, and the bird flies out. Yay, I did it myself. So then my emotions are yay, right? Well, so now my door closer is messed up, and I'm trying to find out how to buy a new door closer, and it's old. Who knows if I can get one to be the right way without having to redo the whole thing. And so I Googled it, and I found a YouTube video that says how to fix your storm door closer, and I fixed my closer myself. I am woman, hear me roar. So I just wanted to tell y'all that because I thought you would celebrate that with me. If you need more help, want more help working on this emotion stuff, contact me at my website, KimberlynCoaching.com. Fill out the form at the bottom of the Work With Me page. I'll contact you and we can have a comfortable conversation and figure out where to go from there. Meanwhile, check yourself this week. What feelings are you feeling? How do they feel in your body? What are the other people around you experiencing? Where can you give them a break? Have a great week, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.